Hey, everybody, and welcome to the show. This is my first solo podcast. I welcome you to Eat Coffee and Regrets. Let me tell you a little bit about how the show is going to go. As I go from month to month, we're going to have a topic. Like, for example, this month we're just going to be talking and introducing myself, introducing the show, and talking about what it's about. Next month, I plan on having a show primarily about people who tend to write with AI or these AI novels that are coming out, and what that means for, at least from my point of view, what that means for the writing industry as a whole and for me as an individual. And I would, with every show, I want your input. I want you to email me, or I will have a telephone number you guys can call. Most of the time, you'll have to leave a message on that number, but every now and then, who knows? Maybe I might pick up and talk to you. I'm going to do this once a month. It's going to be maybe 15, 20, 30 minutes long each time. I'm not going to try and take away your entire day by talking to you, but as the shows get more complex, maybe I'll go a little longer. I'm also going to start doing a show around the middle of the month from time to time where I just talk about a particular book, article, or author that has something new out that kind of excites me, or something I want to share, a point of view I want to share. I enjoy reading. At one point, I read voraciously. I don't read as much now as I used to, and most of the stuff I do read these days tends to be along the lines of technical manuals and things like that. But occasionally I break out the actual fiction book or nonfiction, and I'm not going to admit to it in public, but sometimes I have read a romance or two. But hey, what this show is not going to be, and this is important for me to stress, I am not going to tell you how to write. I am not going to tell you, I'm not going to criticize what you have to say. On that same point, if you call into the show, or if you send me an email and say, hey, Sam, can you take a look at this for me? I'm going to try and avoid that. Writing is a personal thing. I mean, granted, you are sharing it with other people, but more often than not, I find that when I write something, I can't show it to other people or talk to other people about it until I'm mostly done. If I do, it tends to kill it for me for some reason. And I think a lot of people are that way. So I think if you come to me and say, hey, I wrote this really great manuscript, can you read it for me? I'm probably going to say no. I mean, don't take that offensively. It's just, that's between you and you need to finish it. You need to get it done, and then you need to experiment with it. You find yourself some beta readers. Beta reading is important to what we do. Get somebody out there, preferably not a family member, to read it and give you some pointers. Family members, you don't want them to do that because, they're biased. I'm not going to tell you what a right way or wrong way is to write. I'm not going to tell you how to write. I'm not going to teach you that there's one particular way to write. Everybody, like I said before, writing is a personal thing. It's a personal growth thing. Everybody has a style. Everybody has a way of doing things that they like to do it, and it's fun for them. And that's what keeps it fun. When writing becomes work, it tends to lose its majesty, and it tends to lose its momentum. I mean, there are people who write to work, and we all know what they are. They go in, they sit down, they have something that they have to do. They go through and plumb through, they write it, and they put it out there, put a byline on it, and bang, they're done. To keep writing fun, for me, it has to not be work. So whatever motivates you, whatever excites you, then that's what you got to do. Tell you a little bit about me. I have been in the IT industry since around 1988. I've worked odd jobs, everything from pulling potatoes out of the ground and when I was in high school, to retail, to cooking. Right now I work for a school district. Obviously, I'm not going to give you the name of the school district, but if you know me, you know what school district I work for. The point of this show is going to be to try and give people an excitement about writing and an excitement about being a writer. And that's how I feel sometimes too. When I get to my office here in the house and sit down and I want to write, I feel the urge, feel the excitement, I'll sit down and I'll just pound out 3, 4, 5,000 words in one evening, and then go back through and edit it and check it the next time I come around. But there's always times where you sit down and you get in front of your keyboard and may have had ideas all day. You may have had some of the best ideas that you just think, man, that would make a good point to this story I'm writing, or this would make a good short story. And then you get to your computer, you sit down, you pull up your word processor, you put your cup of coffee in front of you. And we're going to talk about coffee too in some of these shows too, because coffee is an important thing. But you sit down in front of your computer, you go there, and all of a sudden, whatever ideas you had in your head, they're gone. That happens to all of us. So we're going to also, in some of the shows, talk about taking notes, talk about keeping some kind of running idea. Because there'll be times I'll be at work and all of a sudden I'll have this really good idea. I'll whip out my phone, pull up the note application, and jot down what I had an idea for. That way I can always go back to it later, and hopefully I remember it in context so I know what story it applied to and what to do with it. As you can tell, this may seem kind of rough, the way I'm talking to you right now. I'm trying to do this in a conversational mode. I'm looking at my monitor in front of me and pretending there's a face on it, so it feels like I'm talking to a person. Because if I sit here and look at my little Blue Yeti microphone and do it, I feel like I'm talking to R2-D2 or something. So I'm pretending there's a face on the monitor in front of me. And this isn't the first time I've tried to do a podcast. My son and I tried to do a podcast several years ago. Then COVID happened and changed everything. I think there's a lot of you out there that can attest to that. I think everybody's life got a little bit screwed up with COVID, and that derailed our plans to keep the podcast going. There are still like 8 episodes out there somewhere, but I think I closed them down. Occasionally, I will have other people on my show. I'm going to definitely have my son in a couple months because he has been working really hard on this comic book series that he's writing. And don't ask me what the name is. He'll have to tell us, because I think it was called like Crazy Kidnapping Clowns or Clowns Kidnapping Kids or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, he showed me the work he's doing, and it's actually kind of funny. I mean, it's not my style, but I enjoyed looking at it, and I enjoy the fact that he's motivated about it. So I told him if he gives me 50 pages, then I will take and I'll put it up on Amazon for sale, and when I do, I'll share that with you folks, and I'll have him on the show and have him talk about it some, because I think that'd be kind of exciting to have him share his own story. He's only 14, so the fact he's motivated to do something like this, that's so cool. I mean, I can't knock that at all. He's a very motivated young man, and he seems to, other than getting that teenage moody thing going on, he seems to be doing pretty good as far as keeping his life in order. Another important part about this is, and like I listened to the Philip DeFranco show, and like Philip DeFranco says, this isn't just a show. This is a conversation. I want to hear from you folks too. I don't want to just be me blasting out into cyberspace with the expectation that you're going to just listen to me. I want to provoke ideas. I want to say something that maybe makes you think, hey, I have an idea on that, or I have an opinion on that. Even if it goes against what I think, tell me about it. I'm interested. I want to hear. Oppositional views are always important because that's what helps us grow. I may say that I like a particular word processor. Let's say I like Word. That right there is going to be a big mark against me for some people, because there's a lot of people that are out there that are anti-Word. In reality, I use Google Documents for most of my writing because I just like it, and it's easy. It doesn't get in the way. I know people who like Scrivener. I know people who like some of the other ones that are out there. I've tried most of them. I just keep going back to Google Docs. But like I said, everybody has an opinion about something. Everybody wants to have their 2 cents on something, and I want to hear it all. I want to hear, even if you just want to call in or write in and tell me I'm a doofus, do so. Tell me. But just if you do, tell me why. Don't just say you're a doofus. Say you're a doofus because then I understand what your point of view is. It's all about context. Like the saying goes, context is king. I'm excited to start this show. I'm doing this at the same time I'm writing, and I'm trying to get a one book finished by December. It doesn't look like it's going to make it, so probably January, but I'm going to be an optimist and say December, and I'll have it put out there. I'll get to share that with you, and I'll talk to you about the book I wrote. I can tell you a little bit about it now, but like I said earlier in the show, I don't want to. because if I do, it'll take some of the romance away from it from me. We're going to discuss things on the mid-month shows when I do start them. We're going to take in, for example, the first book I want to talk about is going to end up being Greg Bear's Blood Music. Absolutely one of the most phenomenal books he wrote. I think it was one of his first. But I like Greg Bear. I mean, he is a phenomenal writer. But that book in particular was the one that really captured me with his work. And then from that, it snowballed. I had to go buy all of his books and just go through and read them. The same is true for a lot of the other books I have. I tend to get started on one and just keep going. And that's the stuff I want to talk about. I also want to talk about articles, like say an author writes a small piece in a publication and it catches my eye. I want to share that with you. I want to talk to you about it. Obviously, for copyright reasons, unless I get permission from the author, I'm not going to do any major quotes or anything. But I will discuss it and I'll give you the resources to find the particular article. And I may even cite the article on the webpage itself for this podcast so that you can go to it yourself. I'd be excited if I actually do spark the interest of some other author out there or some other writer who says, you know, I wouldn't mind talking to Sam. You're welcome. And the other thing too is I'm new to this. I'm getting started. I hope that in 15 years from now I'm still doing shows. But if you happen to be out there and you happen to be a coffee provider, since the theme of my show is coffee, I mean, I could, if you decide a few shows down the line you like my show, I could use a sponsor. So I'm not going to tell you no. Yeah, well, it depends. But anyway, for the most part, that's what the show is going to be about. I am not a professional writer yet. I do have a couple things out on Amazon. So if you look Samuel Raymond Wright III on Amazon, you will find me. You'll find I have 2 things published out there. Have they sold? I think in the last 10 years I've made enough money to buy a coffee and half of a Happy Meal. But it's a start. I don't do it because I'm trying to become famous. I do it because I enjoy it. And that's what I have to keep understanding myself. As far as what my talents are, I'd like to think I'm a jack of most trades, master of none, or master of a few. But as you listen to the shows, and as you dive into what I'm trying to share with you, and even though this sounds kind of disjointed, because again, I am still trying to figure this all out, share with me what you think. Share with me ideas you have for story ideas. So if you think, hey, you know what I want to hear about? I want to hear about this. Or I want to hear about whatever happened to Gregory Benford, or something like that. Throw me a line. Let me know, and I'll dig into it for you. Maybe I'll do a show about that for the mid-month show. If you have a question about, or if you just want to talk about something you find interesting in the writing industry, tell me. That's what we're here for, or what I'm here for. And I think I'm rambling a little bit, but that's okay. That's what I'm trying to get people to listen. So, again, this show's going to be monthly, starting this month. The next episode will be September 1st or thereabouts. The mid-month show, when I do start them, probably not until January. I will be doing those around the 15th of the month, hence mid-month. The whole point of the show is to have fun. That's what I want everybody to remember. So, in saying all that, this introductory episode, I thank you for listening. One quick addition to the end as I close up the show. I'm still kind of learning how to use the various softwares out there to edit and post podcasts. If you have a suggestion, I'm more than willing to take it. So if it seems kind of choppy, or if it seems like there's things that were cut off while you were listening to this, it's because they probably were. The application I'm using is difficult to learn, and I just started using it about a week ago. So if you have an idea for something simpler out there, give me a holler. Let me know. Thank you. I thank you for taking a chance on me, and may your ink flow freely, your coffee always be warm and inviting, and your regrets few but well edited.